Welcome to Developers Diaries, where we go beyond buildings to explore the minds shaping our cities. But today, we're flipping the script. I am the AI avatar of Boman Irani, modeled after the visionary himself. And while I may have all the data on his legacy, insights, and impact, nothing beats the real deal. So let's hear it straight from the man who's built more than just landmarks. He's built a reputation for excellence. Presenting Boman Irani. So the real Boman, let's begin with your journey in real estate. How did Rustomjee Group come into existence, and how has it evolved over the years, particularly in the luxury housing segment?
Hey, thank you very much for having me here. It's quite simple. Basically, there's an old saying: when life throws you lemons, you make lemonade. I got into this business actually quite by chance. As a 19-year-old, I was put in charge of selling off one of my family properties to be able to fund another business that we were into. And with that, at that point of time, I met up with a whole host of developers, a whole host of brokers, architects, people who are associated with the real estate business. And the only thing that I realized was this is one of the best businesses one can be in if one has 3 or 4 things. A, you should be process driven. B, you should be, your integrity should be absolutely unchallengeable. You should be customer focused and driven to, take care of the needs of the customer. And if you have these 3 or 4 things and build a great team around it, you're able to kind of do very much. And Mumbai as a city has always intrigued me, and architecture has always been something that has somehow gotten my fancy. I still remember as a very, very young kid, I used to go and stand outside VT station and just admire the way the entire station was built. And though over years we've ravaged it in different ways, still the architecture of that space really manages to captivate you. So I think it was a good bale of all of these things that brought about or piqued my interest absolutely to get into real estate. And when we started off with the first property in a place called Dahisar. We were developing 21-25 square meters of property and building 54 apartments out there. And like I like to tell people, chairman to watchman, we had 4 people and everyone did everybody's job. We started off as a small team, and we've just been focused on one thing and one thing only. We told people when we were selling the apartments that we'd complete them in 2.5 years, and we kind of delighted them by completing in less than that. We gave every amenity that we said we would, and in spite of prices at that point in time increasing for some of the raw materials, we did not kind of pull back. The idea was to build a name or a brand for ourselves, and finally it was the fact that Rustomjee. Rustom was my father's name, and as a young man, I had a lot of ideas of things that I wanted to do or names that I wanted to use for the company and for the project. Yeah, I think it was my late mother who kind of absolutely put her foot down and said that if you do not name the project after your father, then definitely you don't have me coming to bless the project. And it was just absolute, at that point in time, not being able to kind of put better reason across to her that we chose to name our project after my father. Though I thought that was pretty age-old concept. I can tell you it was one of the best decisions we've made, because once you put your father's name, or rather a revered elder's name, or your family name, so to say, on a project, then you're going to give it your best. You're not going to allow anything to kind of come in the way. And that's how Rustomjee has progressed from step 1 to where we are today. With the one thing that is most common is customer interest is always at the center of our being, and secondly, we will do whatever it takes to keep the Rustomjee brand absolutely on the top of mind of people, and something that people desire to be in. And we believe that everyone who comes and lives with us just becomes a larger part of the Rustomjee family. So all our home buyers are someone that we keep a long-term relationship with, and that's the story of Rustomjee.
Okay, so why did the focus shift to the core Mumbai luxury market, especially considering that a decade ago you were aggressively exploring affordable markets like Vasai and Thane?
So, the question is actually pointing me towards as only being a luxury developer. That is not true. We are across all 5 segments or all 5 price points of real estate, residential real estate. And that's the largest market that we serve. So we are in the affordable housing. I've got projects going on in Virar, and now something that we're starting in Dombivli. We are in the mid-mass, that is to say the 1 to 3 crore kind of bracket, where we've got projects in Thane, and now we've got projects coming up. And of course projects in Borivali East, Borivali West, where we could be in the 1 to 3 crore segment. Then there's the aspirational segment, which is the 3 crores to 7 crore segment, where everything from I would say Andheri East, all the Andheri West to up to Bandra East is all covered in that price point. And if you really ask me, the largest number of projects we have are in these. We have a very large number of projects in the mid-mass and the aspiration category. And then we have the premium beyond that, 7 crores to 15, 16 crores, and then beyond that, the uber premium, which could be any kind of a number. We at Rustomjee understand that data is going to be a very important part of developmental or developers' future growth trajectory, and we keep an eye out for all the kind of data we can kind of get our hands on, and then kind of understand that data, act according to it, and then choose the kind of locations, etc., that we're going to go to. The other thing that we do very well is follow infrastructure, because where infrastructure grows or infrastructure goes, prosperity grows, is something that we understand. So we are across all these price points. We understand luxury extremely well, and that is how we've gotten into luxury. Our projects, whether it's Elements, whether it's Paramount, whether it's Seasons, are all projects at which we kind of upped the game and got into the luxury market. But our desire to continue working in the mid-mass and the aspiration has only grown in appetite from there, and we believe there are consumers that are possibly in the Mumbai and MMR space where we work. The largest number of consumers are for this market, and we're doing extremely well out there. At the same point of time, another success ingredient I can share is we learn across all these markets, right? We learn from the luxury what exactly it means and try to bring in that aspect of luxury in all the homes that we do. You don't have to have the largest home in one of the most sought after locations or with the best possible view, but you can at least bring all those home comforts that are provided in the residential developments to our developments, which are in the mid-mass as well as the aspirational segment. And we do that cross learning and cross effective utilization of our understanding very well.
So moving ahead, what are the upcoming projects that you are excited about?
Someone asked me that question differently. Which is your best project? I always say the next one. And the excitement always is about projects that one is kind of doing something different with. So yes, we've got a project that we've already launched in Warsaw, which we consider as a great location because of the infrastructure, development with the coastal road coming all the way up to there, which has been announced. And also Warsaw is a great area. It's already a very prime residential hub. We believe that the upmarket of that market has not yet been kind of taken care of, and that's how our project out there is kind of launched. We've got 180 Bayview, which is in the Mahim Matunga belt, and again that is a beautifully well connected part of town, and I'm taking particular interest in that area because it's pretty well centered, great residential location, great hospitality in terms of restaurants, etc. around there, great connectivity, good schools in that area. It has the whole mix. What it did not have is organized larger developments, and we took the opportunity, and we're doing about 300,000 square feet of project out there. Besides that, we've got Dombivli coming up. At any point of time, Rustomjee roughly adds about 1.5 times of the projects it has completed to its kitty, and we try to do it in that same price point segment. This is only our way of catering to a larger and growing market, and the way we look at it is we will continue to be spread across the length and breadth of the city, taking care of all kinds of requirements for residential housing, because MMR is the only market that we continue to be in, and MMR is a beautiful market. It's wide and it's deep. It's probably 42% of the residential sales by value across the country. So it is definitely a market that where we are well entrenched in, or where we are well respected in, or we've got great amount of brand recall. So we continue growing in this market, and we'll continue to serve this market. There are very many more projects. Bandra West is something that we will be launching. We've already launched Panorama. We'll be launching Cliff out there. We've got other projects in that micro market coming up. We're doing a larger SRA that will soon see the light of day. in and around Kalina, Santa Cruz, Khar. Then we've got projects that we're looking at in the center of the city, because the city has again opened up thanks to the coastal road that's gone out there. At one point in time there was no development, but a lot of development will happen in that part. That part has got its own beauty. At Rustomjee, we focus on two things. We look at the blue view and the green view. We try and give our consumers the best of sea views, and if we have large gardens, open spaces available, then we try and give them the green view. And in the green view, I can tell you Basant Park is something that will be announced in the last quarter of this financial year. It's a project based on the golf course, and we're going to change the paradigm of living in Chembur. When that project is launched, it will kind of make a huge mindset shift for people who love Chembur as a market, and then would have our project to kind of move towards a call home.
And that brings us to the end of part 1 of this incredible conversation on Developers Diaries, Beyond Buildings. From legacy to leadership, from blueprints to breakthroughs, we've only just scratched the surface of what makes the original Boman Irani a true game changer in Indian real estate. But hey, this is not goodbye, this is just the intermission. Because part 2 is where it gets even more exciting, more insights, more stories, and perhaps a few surprises too. Until then, this is AI Avatar Boman Irani, signing off with one promise: the best is yet to come. Stay tuned for part 2.